So I welcome all of you for the last Dhamma discussion. So we have received several questions, and we have about 12 reports, questions, and we'll start with the written questions.
Avasarai Bante.
Yeah.
Thero Saranai. Most Venerable Bante, my first few meditation has thoughts. After that, I was able to do few successful sitting meditation. Once I start, I feel body sensations and I feel the breath. Within a short time, it disappeared. Time to time, I heard sounds and felt body sensations. After that, I didn't feel the body and no idea about that at all. I didn't feel the body and no idea about the body touches the ground. I am fully awake and no idea where I am. This has happened previously, but this time I suddenly got to know that. This time I was there in that situation by knowing that. After some time I knew where I am now through the sounds or something else. Again I experienced the same situation. I was able to stay some time in this situation. There are no thoughts at that moment. I was looking whether thoughts come. When thoughts come, I identified that and felt the body and heard sounds. But within a short time, I again went to the previous state. Total meditation time became shorter this time. Thero Saranai.
Yeah, may I know who has written it? Okay. Yeah, just keep doing. Basically, if you can reach that state again and again, then you become more and more familiar with that state. And then while you are there, just relax. So basically, once you reach there, it's a kind of a just dwelling there, just enjoying that. So there are no thoughts, there is no attachment, and no reaction, and no eye-making, no mind-making. So that part is very much absent. Just be, that's all. So it's a matter of familiarizing with that state, introducing that state to the mind, and be in that state. Nothing to worry, just continue that. Yeah.
Second one, Thero Saranai, Most Venerable Bante, sitting meditation. I started my sitting meditation after body scanning and touching the sensational points in the body. After that, the breath in and out went on slightly, and suddenly, after some time, I started to memorize the responsibilities which I have to face in future. Immediately, I managed to come back to the present moment after realizing it. Walking meditation. Started focusing to the left and right foot while walking. Also felt the sensation of roughness and softness of the sand. In my practice, I observed that sitting meditation after walking meditation can easily get good results. So let me repeat.
Correct.
In my practice, I observe that sitting meditation, first sitting meditation, then walking meditation gets good results.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Either
way, sometimes we feel, walking meditation would be successful after a sitting session. And sometimes opposite also true, where the sitting session become more successful when you have a good walking session. So both are fairly related, and this contributes to the other contributes to this one. So no problem. It's a matter of more and more familiarizing with both, because both sessions, or the two sessions have their own strengths. So, for example, when you consider the walking session, where you get a kind of an understanding and the kind of an ability to navigate, to locate your attention to any different places at your will, because the place constantly change, the object constantly change, and you are developing that capacity within your mind. And on the other hand, while sitting, we are refining our attention, and the information available are very subtle, or the object also quite subtle. So we are developing another skill. So how to refine our mind, sharpen our mindfulness, sharpen our attention. So that may be again helpful in walking. Say when you start recognizing various detail available in walking session, say what is being touching to your soles. When you are investigating that very closely, the experience that you have gained through sitting session would be quite helpful. So therefore these are quite interdependent. So that is how they are designed like. So both are necessary. That's why doing one would not be enough. So we need both, walking as well as sitting. Okay.
Third question. Venerable Sir, I always look forward to come for the retreat here. However, when I am here, I have a very unnatural and embarrassing sleepiness. I would like to state that I am so grateful to Bhante for the invaluable guidance given. I would also like to comment that as a newcomer, I have found that the yogis here to be very kind, compassionate and helpful, never to be grumpy. Thero Saranai.
Good. So anyway, one thing for sleepiness is that the meditation objects are quite very ordinary meditation objects. So it is not kind of exciting type of experience that we are targeting. What we are using are very normal, ordinary kind of objects. So that is the way it is designed. So it has a deep meaning. Now say for example, when you are going through some anger, then you can't sleep. When you are going through some kind of a doubt with him, with that, whatever, then you can't sleep. And again, if you are worrying about what has happened, there are kind of regretting thoughts, again you can't sleep. Say you are having a lot of lustful thoughts, still you can't sleep. So that means our wakefulness is fairly dependent on that kind of an agitation. So when the mind is going through certain agitation, excitement, then we are capable of maintaining wakefulness. But in meditation, we are trying to do the opposite, where we need to be attentive, we need to be wakeful while there is no excitement, while there is no agitation, and there is no any kind of lustful, angry kind of thoughts, and there are no regrets either, no doubts. So it's a kind of a challenging area. So on the other hand, what we can say is we are used to some sort of a gross type of mind state. So that gross kind of agitation helps mind to be awake. Now what we are trying to do is to remove that gross kind of agitation and to calm down the mind. And in order to do that, we are using various subtle objects, certain processes, those are calming down. But unfortunately, as you said, so we tend to sleep because our minds are quite gross, insensitive in a way, not sharp. But anyway, as we continue, the sharpness of the mind grows, the sensitivity of the mind grows, wakefulness of the mind grows. Actually, mindfulness is equal to wakefulness. And that wakefulness improving, and even with subtle objects, even with subtle processes, then yogi is capable of being awake. So it may take some time, and later you may be even capable of maintaining wakefulness, kind of attentive awareness, even when there are subtle objects available, even when subtle processes are available, like breathing, rising and falling, etc. And even later, even without an object, you can be still mindful. So those are the different areas we can look forward So at the beginning, it's true that we feel sleepy when there is nothing much to do, and what we are trying to do here is paying attention to more ordinary activities and investigate them. Later we become more confident in that, doing that without falling asleep, without feeling drowsy. Later, even without an object, you can have a wakefulness. So likewise, it's a very beautiful path ahead. So anyway, one possibility is at home also try to practice. So don't try to depend on only with the Kalalgoda practice. So while at home, whenever you get a chance, so develop the awareness. Be with yourself. Don't agitate your mind too much. Say, for example, when we are agitating the mind, say we are going for a lot of parties, excitement, say too much thinking, say movies, musical shows, politics, news, all these things are actually making the mind more and more gross, agitated. But on the other hand, if you are changing your sort of life pattern to a different way, so you are calming down, relaxing, allowing the mind to be sort of relaxed, then slowly your lifestyle may little change. Okay, even with such kind of a relaxed atmosphere, you don't feel sleepy. You are still awake. So unfortunately nowadays social media and what's the other thing? Mass media. Everything is agitating the mind. But the opposite is what we need to have, where even when nothing is available, how can we be fully aware? Okay, yeah.
This is a collection of 5 small questions from room number 5. Different, it's a collection. Venerable Bhante, questions from room number 5. Please sympathize and explain to us. Question 1. How would meditation affect one's life and make it better?
How? What?
How would meditation affect one's life and make it better?
No. One after the other. I have very less memory capacity. So that's why. I mean, there are many benefits. If you simply consider mindfulness, there are many benefits. One thing is you start living. So far, I mean, when we are unmindful, it's very much like we are dead. So we are not in this present world. We are not in the present moment. We are in a dream world, mind-made world, a different world. But the meditation, mindfulness, help us to be in this world, in this moment, and say fully aware of what is happening right now. So it's something like that you start living. And on the other hand, so typically, as I mentioned, you are being driven by various defilements. So it is not that you independently operating, but various other influencing factors are operating within the mind, and you are very much like a victim of all those. So the meditation helps us to understand all those tendencies, what are the defilements available, and how we being overwhelmed by that, and how impulsively we are reacting to them. So likewise, that our slavery type of nature, we can recognize what is available within us, operating within us. And then we can at least avoid being a victim of that vicious process. And on the other hand, if we consider, say, walking meditation, say, it has many health benefits also. Say, when you are walking after a meal, then that digestion happens properly, and you become healthy, you become less prone to illnesses, and you are capable of walking long distances without much feeling tired, and it generates kind of a capacity to face challenges, and you are being prepared to face challenges, your sort of capacity being uplifted, and the peaceful atmosphere generated through walking meditation is lasting for a long time. So those are the walking meditation related benefits in that sense. And on the other hand, later, say you are developing further mindfulness practices, as we discussed yesterday. So even when you face certain calamities, certain tragic situations, still you have a kind of a shock absorbing type of ability within your mind. You can face it, you can cope with it. So that's why, in our human nature, so we can't expect every time the ups and ups. So it may be ups and downs in our life. So within this range, these ups and downs, you can maintain kind of a stable mind as we continue. And on the other hand, with Vipassana, we are gaining a lot of insights. So what is our true nature, how the body works, how the mind works. And that helps to have more understanding and how our mind operates. So what are the tendencies, hidden tendencies available in the mind. So likewise, a lot of areas are there which we can explore. So that understanding helps us to further strengthen our abilities, reduce or remove certain, harmful tendencies, and maybe have a very good kind of a relaxed mentality in that sense. So ultimately we can simply say, you become a good human being. That's it. Yeah. Emotional. Yeah, true. So many things are there. So you are recognizing a kind of a path where rather than being a victim of an experience, you become kind of an observer. You can stand outside of the experience and you can simply watch what's going on. So that is very important perspective that we are developing through Satipatthana practice, where rather than being a poor victim of the whole process, maybe a mental process, physical process, you gain the capacity to come out of that, step back and watch it. So you start witnessing what is going on. So as a result of that, we are not becoming judgmental. Rather, we can understand something non-judgmentally, say without coming to immediate conclusions based on our wrong perceptions. Say you have the capacity to now have a better understanding. As a result of that, you can take a proper decision, correct decision. That's why, nowadays they are talking on social emotional learning, SEL, in the West. And there they come up with the five-step process. The first step is the body awareness, development of the body awareness. So as a result of that, the next stage is that you become more aware of yourself. So that is the self-management. So you become a little controlled, very much like not impulsively reacting, rather you are having kind of a restrainment. It's a natural effect coming through the mindfulness. And when you are becoming more self-managed, controlled, now your capacity to understand another person also improved. So as a result of that, the interpersonal relationships become improved because you understand yourself, and same way you can understand another person. So another person's emotions, another person's attitude, their, say, shortcomings or strengths, whatever it is. So you can even understand that. As a result of that, now the interpersonal relationships are improved. So the social relationships are now being developed. Now, as a result of that, now you can look at the picture, big picture, not just yourself, but the big picture. The whole system you can recognize, the whole society you can understand. As a result of that, you can get a proper decision. So when there is situation to take a decision, it is not that you take a biased decision, which you are being driven by various emotions. Rather, you can, as I said, you can step back and see the situation non-judgmentally without being biased. So you can take a proper decision. So these are being discussed nowadays under social and emotional learning. So they are now getting the benefit of that. And they are recommending SEL to schools and various other institutions, because it's not limited to a little area. It can be applicable to a whole area, whole system. So you can even apply it to your own family, say to your school, to your department, to your institute, whatever it is. It's being now successfully used in the West. You can search social emotional learning and you can see how these teachings are being practically used in the society.
Second one, how to apply Chittanupassana while doing sitting meditation?
You may take time, it may take some time, so don't try to immediately jump to that. So start developing the body awareness and try to be aware of various postures, and then you are recognizing various sensations available throughout the body. You start investigating them, understanding them, exploring them, examining them. So likewise you develop mindfulness and clear comprehension. So mindfulness alone can't do the job. So once you have certain amount of mindfulness, now you need to initiate this clear comprehension. You need to investigate different phenomena, so how they are operating. So that develops certain amount of capacity within the mind. So it is not mere mindfulness plus clear comprehension, sati and sampajanya. So when both these are available, slowly you get the capacity to watch the mind. So it's a kind of a natural unfolding. It is not you are purposely jumping, rather you are developing kaya anupassana, you are exploring the body, understanding, investigating, and all these activities are continuing. And then you may even come to the range of the feelings, and you recognize various bodily feelings, and next maybe even the mental feelings. That means happiness, sorrow, worrying, regrets. Now you are in the domain of the mentality. Now you are in the Chittanupassana. So it's a kind of a natural process. So it will naturally grow to the next level. So that's why I mentioned yesterday. So just jump into Chittanupassana may not work, and Buddha mentioned that. So if you don't have enough mindfulness and clear comprehension in your hand, then it's almost impossible to do a proper Chittanupassana, because the mental states are quite tempting and deceiving. So we easily get carried away by them.
Is observing the whole body while walking meditation advisable?
That depends actually. So sometimes you can get that kind of the overview kind of the body, but what is required another time is to carefully observe little phenomena within a very limited area. So both are two sides actually. In the mindfulness practice, we need both. Sometimes we need kind of a bird's eye view. Say you being an outsider and simply see how the whole body walking like you like rowing a boat. The body is simply moving and you are like an outsider. You observe the whole body. But that alone is not enough. Sometimes you need to, carefully scrutinize what's really happening at different places of your soul, and you can distinctly recognize what is hardness, softness, what is happening to hardness, softness, how they are rising, how they are changing, how they are passing away. Now this requires a very precise attention. So both are necessary.
How can one make meditation a habit in life?
Try to do it daily. Then it will become a habit. So then it will be more natural. Actually, at the beginning only you feel a little difficult because you are not used to it. And later it becomes a habit, as you said. Then it's a more natural thing. Now say, when you are being born, are you capable of walking? How about now? Is it difficult? Can you remember the very first day how you may be holding your mother's hand, your father's hand, and start walking? Again, dropping. Again, taking the hand, again, standing up, again, walking few steps, again, falling. Same thing. Same thing in meditation. So we may fall. We may come to the bottom, to the zeroth level. Again start. No other way. Trial and error, in a way. Yeah.
What is the difference between meditation and mindfulness?
Actually, meditation is a broader term where we use to samatha and vipassana both. Where the samatha meditation is more targeting tranquilizing the mind, calming down the mind, and keeping it one-pointed, relaxed, hooked up with one stable state. On the other hand, Vipassana is aiming the development of wisdom, insights, through real or direct experience or direct experience-based investigation, we can say. So therefore, the mindfulness practice, we can say at the beginning we have a little bit of samatha part as well, but later more into Vipassana, where you develop mindfulness and then slowly it is taking you to the Vipassana, taking you more towards the development of the wisdom. So that's what in the Satipatthana Sutta, there are very short areas describing the samatha aspect. Say for example, if you consider Anapanasati section, where Buddha talks about the posture, say, Ujung kayam panidhaya parimukhaṃ sating upaṭṭapetva. So that means you are preparing your posture. So sato asasati, sato passasati. You are mindfully breathing in, mindfully breathing out. So simple instructions. So first we need to establish mindfulness. So it is, we can say, the early stages of samatha. And later now he is turning your attention to the subtle aspects of breathing. Dīgaṃ vāsa santo dīgaṃ vāsa sāmīti pajānāti, rassaṃ vāsa santo rassaṃ vāsa sāmīti pajānāti, sabbakāya patisangvedi assa sissāmīti sikkati. So likewise now you do this very specific investigation. So yeah. No, anyway, meditation term is referred kind of broadly. Now, recently, only this mindfulness has been highlighted in the society. But we can say meditation broadly has these two areas, samatha and vipassana. And mindfulness is more into vipassana and combination of both very much. Yeah. Even samatha vipassana way of life. That's why even in the Buddha's teaching, say if you refer certain suttas, say Buddha refer samatha vipassana even as the understanding of your life, say as the nirodha satya. So you are trying to understand samatha and vipassana, or rather develop samatha and vipassana, and then you understand vijja vimutti, the knowledge and freedom. So as you said, it's very much like Noble Eightfold Path. So we can concise Noble Eightfold Path into samatha and vipassana in that sense. So like as many different ways we can analyze. But anyway, meditation is a broader term. But when we are talking mindfulness, more emphasis is given to mindfulness. But mindfulness alone is not the path. Mindfulness actually will take various other supporting factors into the picture. Say, as we are doing right now, say you are simply mindfully walking. It doesn't mean that you are only keeping mindfulness. You are taking the, support of the wisdom. You are taking the support of the Buddha's teaching. You are taking the support of the effort. And you still have faith. And you are developing wisdom. So also kind of a combination of so many spiritual qualities, ultimately we are targeting. So that's what later Buddha mentioned in the 37 Bodhipakkhiya Dhammas. So, we are just talking, I am doing mindfulness meditation, doesn't matter. It means, by the way, it's a long, broader aspect. Even though we start with very basic things, ultimately it will gather so many other supports coming from many mental qualities. Yeah. That's all?
There's a few more.
That paper finished.
Finished, but that last question you answered, it's related to this new report as well. Theruvan Saranai Bhante, please explain the difference between Vipassana and Samatha. Do both these practices increase inner stillness of the mind? Theruvan Saranai.
Yeah, we can say so. So if you are doing Samatha meditation, it also has the capacity to calm down, relax, stabilize your mind. But it is short-lived, by the way. It doesn't have much on to the wisdom side, wisdom aspect. But on the other hand, Vipassana, so it is having the wisdom aspect, but you can't do it immediately. You need certain amount of samatha part. You need to observe certain phenomena for a considerable period of time to understand their true nature. So that's why mindfulness is required. That's why concentration is required. So using these skills, now when you are continuing with the proper investigation for a considerable period of time, then you are developing wisdom, and then, as we discussed yesterday, mind starts letting go. Mind starts kind of a new way of life where it is not ready to attach, rather it like to be independent, to be free. So being free means still again. So it is being free does not mean you are floating and jumping to this and that. But later, being free means being still. Nissitassa chalitang anissitassa chalitan natti. So when there is no association, when there is no attachment, when there is no grasping, chalitang natti, no wavering, no movement. Mind remains still, remain calm, remain quiet. So, I mean, very interesting. You can do it and see. Don't believe me. Yeah.
Next report, Bante. ගෞරවනීය ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේගෙන් අවසරයි. ආනාපාන සතිය මාගේ මූල කර්මස්ථානය වේ. භාවනාවට වාඩි වී සිත කයටගෙන එමි. ටික වේලාවකින් ඉබේම නාසය කෙළවර ආශ්වාස ප්‍රාශ්වාසය දැනේ. එය දෙස බලා සිටිමි. ඊතා ඉක්මනින් හුස්ම තුනී වී යයි. හුස්ම අනුව කය ඉහළ පහළ යන ආකාරය දැනේ. එයද බලා සිටිමි. එයද නොදැනී යයි. සිත ඊතා සංසුන් තත්වයකට පැමිණේ. එසේ සිටින විට ශරීරයේ විවිධ තැන්වල මස්පිඩු කම්පනය වන ආකාරයද දැනේ. විටක කකුලේ කොන්දේ වේදනාව දැනේ. ඒවා දෙස බලා සිටින විට ඇති වී නැති වී යන ආකාරයද දැනේ. සිතේ නිස්කලංක බවද ටික වේලාවක් පවතී. මේ ආකාරයට ඒ සියල්ල දෙස බලා සිටිමි. ඒ සියල්ලම මාගේ පාලනයෙන් තොරව සිදුවන බව සිතට දැනේ. සක්මන් භාවනාව වම දකුණ ලෙස මෙනෙහි කරමින් පටන් ගතිමි. ටික වේලාවකින් යටිපතුලේ ස්පර්ශයට ඉබේම සිත යැවේ. ඒවායේ විස්තර මුලින් පෙනී පසුව සියුම් වී යන ආකාරය අත්විඳිමි. ශරීරය එහාට මෙහාට ඇවිදින ආකාරයත් දෙපා මාරුවෙන් මාරුවට තිබෙන ආකාරයත් දැනේ. සිතිවිලිද පැමිණේ. ඒවා පැමිණ යන ආකාරය බලමි. ඊටාම නිස්කලංකව සැහැල්ලුවෙන් සක්මන් භාවනාව කරමි. භාවනාව ඉදිරියට කරගෙන යාමට ඔබ වහන්සේගෙන් උපදෙස් ලබා දෙන සේක්වා තෙරුවන් සරණයි.
හොඳයි. දෙකට කරගෙන යන්න. කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. යන විදිය හොඳයි. ඒ කියන්නේ ඕක තව ඉතින් ප්‍රගුණ කරන්නයි තියෙන්නේ. ඕකම දිගටම කරන්න. එතකොට ඒක තව වර්ධනය වෙන්න මෙතනින් ලැබෙන අවබෝධය වැඩි වෙන්න ඉස්සරහට යාවි. දැනට ඕකම ප්‍රගුණ කරන්නයි තියෙන්නේ. මොකුත් වෙනසක් කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ.
Next report. Garutara Swamin Vahansa. When I was meditating and concentrating on breathing, so many images of past memories were coming to my mind. Although they stay for a very short period of time, it is a continuous flow. It is really disturbing me and continuously breaking my concentration. What should I do? Or will it be over with more practice? As this is my second day of meditation, Theruvan Saranai.
Yeah, the second answer. Because, that's why we have loads of memories, loads of unnecessary things, loads of garbage. Now it's a purification process, so you have to purify everything. It's a good that at least before death we are able to understand All the garbage is available, it is now coming out. So keep unloading everything. Then ultimately your mind become sort of very lighter, and you can continue your path beautifully. Actually, Buddha gave a very interesting simile in Dhammapada. I can't exactly remember the verse. So the meaning Buddha mentioned is, so he's asking the monks, so while you are traveling in the ocean, or maybe on a river, using a ship, and Buddha asks, just keep unloading the garbage, or unload the load available, baggage available, and then it is easy for you to travel the boat to the next shore. So if you have heavy load to carry, then you have to spend a lot of fuel, right? So how expensive today the fuel is. So if you have less garbage, less baggage to carry, even using a foot cycle you can go. Motorcycle would be enough. But if you have huge garbage, huge load, huge baggage, then you need a huge truck and you can't quickly travel. It's a kind of an unloading process at the beginning we have. So we have gathered so many unnecessary things, and we are keep on gathering, isn't it? We are thinking and watching, listening, and putting our hand to various others' things and other people's things, other matters. So when you are watching a drama, what are you gathering? Now say two people are quarreling and they are, planning how to attack another person, and you are watching it with a lot of excitement. What are you gathering? So someone else's garbage, someone else's plans, someone else's worries. We unnecessary invite. Now say if it is belonging to your neighbor or your relative, that's a different story. By watching a movie, by watching a TV, drama, whatever it is, so we are taking our attention completely to a completely, say, imaginary thing, or something has happened to another person, or someone else's complete fabrication, and we start living that, we start worrying about that, and at the end of the drama, what happened to your mind? You start thinking, what will happen next time? So the drama will finish with giving you that kind of a clue. So you are being lost in a type of expectation. Okay, I need to look the next episode. May the Pathum and Ahimsa would marry next week. So that was a long ago drama. I used to watch. What's that movie name? The drama name? Ahimsa or no? What's that? I can't remember. So long time ago. Recently I couldn't watch anything. Now we are not allowed to watch dramas. So, මොකද්ද මට මතක නෑ. ඉතින් නෑ ඒක නෙමෙයි මම මේ කියන්නේ. පැතුණුයි අහිංසා හිටියේ මේ ටීවී ඩ්‍රාමා එකක්. ඉතින් ඊට පස්සේ කියන්නේ අර මේ මොකද්ද ඒ දේදුණුයි කවුද? මොකද්ද ඒකේ හිටියේ දේදුණුයි පැතුණුයි පැතුණුයි ඔව් ඒ මොකද්ද නෑ ඒ කියන්නේ මේ ඉස්සර සිත්තර කියලා පත්‍රයක් තිබුණා මතකද? ඒකනේ ඒක තිබුණේ. දැන් ඒක ටීවී එකෙත් යනවද? ටීවී කියනවද ඒකක්? එහෙම එකක්. නෑ. ඒක මම බලන්න බැරුණානේ. මම බැලුවේ මේ පත්තරේ. ඉස්සරේ තිබුණානේ සිත්තර කියලා පත්‍රයක් තිබුණානේ. අහලා තියෙනවද? මේ මම දන්නේ නැහැ ඉතින් මෙතන වයසක කට්ටිය ඉන්නවනේ මං වගේ. ඉතින් සිත්තර පත්‍රයේ තිබුණා මේ දේදුණු පැතුම් කියලා මොකද්ද? ඒක තමයි මොකද්ද ඒකේ නම කිව්වේ? ඉතින් ඊට පස්සේ. අන්න හරි. ඉතින් ඊට පස්සේ. ඒක සමහරට මෑත කාලේ මේ එහෙනම් ගහන්න නැති ඩ්‍රාමා එකකට ටීවී ඩ්‍රාමා එකක් ගියාද? මම බැලුවයි කියලා කිව්වේ ඒක නෙමෙයි. එතන ඉන්න ඕන ડોක්ටර් කෙනෙක්. ඊට පස්සේ යාට ඉතින් ප්‍රේම කරන තව කාන්තාවක් ඉන්නවා. යා අහිංසා. ඉතින් ඔන්නම දන්න complete fabrication, and we are thinking about them, and we are imagining about their characters, and we are worrying why couldn't they meet today, why the others are interfering them. I mean they are innocent, no, and we are thinking complete fabrication. So if we don't have enough thing to worry, we at least look at a movie and start worrying. Stupid. You can understand how stupid we are. I mean, we are simply, strengthening our wrong habits, harmful habits in a way. Kunu, tanikara kunu. Oh. Anunge kunu tiyak අපි ළඟට ගන්නවා. Oh. අරගෙන ඉතින් අපේම හිත අපි වල්මත් කරගන්නවා. ඒකයි. I mean, that's why we need to understand, I mean, our habits, our tendencies are being exploited by the others. So through the advertisements, through these teledramas and whatever it is, so our human, weaknesses are being exploited. So we as human beings like to proliferate. That's what the Buddha mentioned. Papanchabi rata paja. So this human realms, human mind is addicted to proliferation. So we like thinking, we like imagining, we like conceptual proliferation, lost in mind-made worlds, fabrications. So we need to understand how harmful it is, and how it can lead to kind of a depressive mood even. How it can lead to kind of an excitement. And later, if you are able to understand the harm, later you can actually stop that and allow the mind to relax, allow the mind to calm, and not to associate and not to fill your mind with a lot of garbage. So why are you filling your mind with a lot of unnecessary garbage? Yeah, you have something? Yes.
අවසරයි සන්නස ඔය කතාව සම්බන්ධයෙන්ම මේ වහන්සේගෙන් අහලා දැනගන්න දෙයක්. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් අපි ජීවත් වෙන ලෝකේ තනිකරම මේ ලොකුවට ප්‍රපංච කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් ප්‍රපංච උඩම තියෙන එකක්නේ. හොඳ දක්ෂ විදිහට කරන්න පුළුවන් අය සෑහෙන දිනන ලෝකයක තමයි අපිටත් ජීවත් වෙන්නේ. ඉතින් අපිටත් එතකොට දවල් වරුවේ ඒ කොටසේ ඉන්න වෙනවා. රෑ කියන්නේ මගේ දවස ගානේ භාවනා කරනවා නම් උදේ ඉඳලා හවස වෙනකන් එහෙම ඉන්න වෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ ආපහු වෙන ලෝකයකට වගේ ගිහින් භාවනා කරන්න වෙනවා. මොකද්ද ඔබ වහන්සේ කියන්නේ අපි මොන වගේ ක්‍රමයක්ද අනුගමනය කරන්නේ? ඒක තමයි. දැන් අපි දැන් අපි දවසේ කටයුතු කරද්දී විටින් විට අපිට ප්‍රපංච ලෝකෙන් එළියට එන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඒක බෙටර්. එතකොට නිකන් අර ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් වෙන කතාවක් නේ තියෙන්නේ. අපි නිකන් වෙන ලෝකයකට යනවා, මනසින් හදාගත්ත ලෝකයකට යනවා. අපි ඉන්නවා මොකක් හරි අපිට පැවරුණා යම්සි වැඩක් කරන්න. ඒතකොට ඒක ගැන අපිට හිතන්න වෙනවා, ඩිසයින් කරන්න වෙනවා, ඉමේජින් කරන්න වෙනවා. එතකොට ඒක මත ඉන්නකොට නිකන් අපි ලොස් නේ තනිකරම නේද? අපි ඉන්නේ මේ ලෝකේ නෙමෙයි. ඉතින් අපි හදාගත්ත, මනසින් ඩිසයින් කරගත්ත කාල්පනික ලෝකයක ඉන්නේ. හැබැයි ඒකේ දිගට ඉන්නේ නැතුව පැය භාගෙන් භාගයටවත් නිකන් ආයි බලනවා. දැන් මේ හිඳගෙන ඉන්නේ. මේ පුටුවක් උඩ ඉන්නේ. මේ ලංකාවේ ඉන්නේ. නේද? දැන් අද ඇවිල්ලා ඔන්න ඉරිදා. එනගේ අර මේ මොහොතට ගන්න. ආයි නිකන් ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් වෙන්න, අර්ත් වෙන්න. ඊට පස්සේ අර අපි හදාගත්ත අර සම්පූර්ණ ඉමේජින්ඩ් ස්ට්‍රෙස් එක රිලීස් වෙලා යාවි. එකෙන් ආවනේ අර වර්චුවල් එකෙන් ආවනේ එළියට. දැන් අපි හිටියේ වර්චුවල් එකක, වර්චුවල් රියැලිටි එකක. But you came back to the real world. Oh, now I'm sitting. I'm just breathing. So this is the body. I can feel some heaviness. I can feel some headache or whatever ache. All these things help to earth ourselves. All the stress now being, released. Again, you can go back and do the imagination. You can do the work and you can design whatever it is. Another half an hour, okay, relax, calm down. I'm breathing. So likewise, the true world is very simplified on the other hand. But the mind-made world is very complex, imaginations, thoughts, fabrications, so filled with a lot of complexities. And we think the complexities are the reality. But the opposite is the truth. That's why, when we are coming to mindfulness practice, so we are again and again coming back to this ordinary experience. Ordinary experience is very relaxed, calm. And sometimes when you are investigating, you may understand it is also vulnerable, changing, constantly changing. So that is also there. That's another stage. Even when you are investigating that, you feel happy. That's another beautiful part. So anyway, so rather than being lost for a long time in an imagined world, So it is good always to come back, relax, at least half an hour period. Now that is being typically advised for the computer operators. So they are always typing in a fully engaged with the conceptual world. So after half an hour, okay, you close your eyes or you look at some other thing rather than to your screen. You look at very far object and relax yourself. And now you take your posture and ground yourself. So that is being given as an instruction for the well-being of that person, whoever using the screen. Now there are certain research being done that the children who are addicted to screen time, they are coming up with a concept called screen time. The screen time is increasing. So children are used to devices, maybe video games, maybe tabs, maybe mobile phones, later the computers, then the television, all are screen time. So we are going to different direction as human beings. We are used to screen time now. We are losing humanity. We are not connected with our mother. We are not connected with our father, to our brother, sister, to our fellow human beings. We are with the screen. Miserable situation in a way. Very pathetic situation. That's why we are not in a way feeling another person's emotions. Because we are used to, shoot through the video game. Another human being is just another target. That's it. Boom. Done. Very pathetic situation in the human realm. So the end will be wars, chaos, and kind of a collapse. Yeah. Any more? Right.
Final report, Bhante. Dear Bhante, we are taught through this practice of meditation to focus on the now by observing and being mindful of the present moment, our bodily actions, etc. However, in life, our past experiences help us to navigate and take decisions for the future, make informed choices. How do we eliminate our past experiences to practice this teaching? And is it really practical to do so in the context of a layman's life? Wouldn't we repeat the same mistake from the past if we forget the experience from the past?
Yeah, it is not only for lay people, even for monks, we need the past. So therefore Buddha didn't prohibit to reflect about the past, neither prohibit us to think about the future, plan about the future. And if you consider various suttas, Buddha asks us to, how you are managing your economics, say your financial situation. Once you earn, say you invest it to another future, future investment. So likewise, it's Sigalovada Sutta. So therefore it is not the practice, you very much understood the practice differently or wrongly. The practice is not that we are being prohibited thinking about the past, we are not, or prohibited thinking about the future. Rather, what we are supposed to do is, first actually we are trying to establish mindfulness within the present moment. And when mindfulness is available, you can think even in the past or the future while being mindful. So that's the difference. So you are no more lost in the past. You are no more lost in the future unmindfully. So you can mindfully think. So that's a different story. Now if you refer, there is beautiful sutta, Vipassana sutta. So in Vipassana sutta, in Majjhima Nikaya, so Buddha mentioned, when the yogi needs thinking, he start thinking. But under the supervision of what? Supervision of mindfulness. When he want to stop, he can stop. And what he want to think, he may think. and he know exactly what is I am thinking now, and he know this may be something beneficial. It has a purpose of thinking. Now he is thinking, and he is trying to get the benefit of that thinking. And then he understand, okay, now no need to think. I have done, completed. Okay, now stop thinking. So very much like the thinking as a capacity, as a skill, happens within your purview, within your capacity. It is not that thinking overwhelms you, thinking overpowers you. Rather, you are using thinking as a skill, as a tool to help develop you. That's the practice. So mindfulness doesn't prohibit you of thinking. Rather, being mindful, you can think. Being mindful, you can design. Being mindful, you can plan. But that plan may not overwhelm you. The plan may not take you to a complete bewilderment kind of thing, complete lost of mentality. Rather, when you understand, okay, now enough, okay, you can stop. Now say, I'll just give you an example. Now say you have two eyes, and when you want to see, you can see. When you don't want, what can you do? Close your eyes. Simple as that. So if we can we do that with the mind? When you need, you can think. When you don't want, can you stop? We can stop. So that's the point. So when we develop mindfulness, when you are continuing our path, so we may get that capacity. When you want to think, okay, I'm thinking, I'm getting the benefit of that, because thinking is a very good skill if you are using it properly. And when you understand, okay, now I don't need to think, I can be calm down, I can relax, okay, just relax. So that is what exactly Buddha mentioned in the Vitakka Santana Sutta, Vasi Vitakka Pariyapatesu. So these thinking streams are different streams. You can think with respect to the past, to the future, to the present. Different ways are possible. But Vasi means things are happening within your control, within your supervision. So when you are in that position, now you can think when it is necessary, when you want, and then you can stop when you don't want. So that is the target of the practice. Okay, so anything else? If you want, anyone have anything to, yes. Harindra, not Harindra, what's your name? Amendra.
Avasarai Banta. Just want to know.
Can hear, yes.
Yes, just want to clarify something. This is based on something Bante said just now. I have heard when you are dying, you're facing a film-like memory in your mind, and it appears.
No, that is only. Not always. Not always. Now even in the death moment and the present moment, in that sense, not big difference. So when you are meditating, so what you see in your mind. So when you relax, what you see in your mind. So that is another thing that we already discussed. Say various visuals can happen. Say you can remember certain past incident, you can remember certain person, their memories can come to the mind. All these things can happen when there is no kind of strong object to attach with. Say for example, when breathing becomes subtler and subtler, so mind might get occupied with various visions, various say thoughts, or various faces, images, whatever it's it. But all are just imaginations, all are just images, all are just perceptions, sanya. And then you are developing a capacity to discard them. And you are coming back to the, say, body or to the breathing or whatever it is, which is more physical, more real. So before death, we need to practice. So therefore, in the death moment, they are talking of kamma, kamma nimitta, gati nimitta. So those are the points that typically mention as an object of the mind, which can happen. So as you said, kamma nimitta is something we have done some activity, and to that activity, there may be certain supporting people, supporting conditions, some visuals are there with respect to that. So those images may appear in your mind. That is one thing. Then the Gati Nimitta is where you are going to be reborn. So some information related to that next birth can happen, appear in the mind. The next thing is simply the karma. You can remember the activity that you did. Maybe thoughts, something can come to the mind. So if you are keeping your mind empty, what's going to happen? So very much like we are not, if assume that in the prestige form, say the best form, say you are able to not attach with anything, keeping the mind empty as much as possible, pure as much as possible. And then you are not overwhelmed by visuals, you are not overwhelmed by or driven by various mind-made things, imaginations or these kind of thoughts and etc. But you are purely dependent on your karma. So karma may take you to the proper place rather than being sort of overpowered by the last moment thoughts and say dreams or fears or whatever it is. So the karma will take you to the proper position. So that is where Buddha mentioned to Mahanama, King Mahanama. So there Buddha mentioned, so if you are developing a path, if you are always trying to keep the mind uplifted, always try to keep the mind more wholesome, and that becomes your practice. Again and again you are trying to keep the mind wholesome, keep the mind unattached, keep the mind sort of agitated. So you are developing a kind of a path. Then actually the question came from King Mahanama, and he is telling, so I don't know what would happen at the death moment because I am engaged with so many activities. I, as the king, I have so many responsibilities. I may be visiting the elephant, what's that called? Where the elephants are gathered, and so I have certain works to go there. So I am going there and involving with that activities. I may visit the horses and that horse army, and then I have certain activities there. Then I sometimes have the meetings, so etc. etc. So I am a king. I have so many things, but I don't know when the death may happen. So if while I engage with so many all those things, if my death happens, I am little worried. So what would be my next life? It's a very, very valid question. And then Buddha mentioned you don't need to worry. So what you have developed when you are alive will decide your next birth. So, for that you need to have a fair amount of practice, because King Mahanama is a faithful devotee of the Buddha, and he being a Sotapanna or even Sakadagami, I can't exactly remember, he's a noble person. But he's not simply sitting on a cushion. He has so many other things. He has a lot of responsibilities. And he is doing all those by being a noble person. Then Buddha mentioned, don't worry. So even at the death, so your mind will be uplifted. And he is giving a very beautiful simile. And he says, assume that you are taking a pot of ghee, pot filled with ghee. And assume that you are taking that ghee pot to the middle of the river. And there you break the pot. What happens to the ghee? The remains of the pot may collapse to the bottom of the river, but the ghee may come up. So similarly, Buddha mentioned, the developed mind will come automatically to the better level rather than going down. So therefore, the more we have some sort of a capacity to maintain the mind, develop the mind while we are alive, so we have some release rather than simply being driven by the last moment or death moment thoughts, images, etc. So they become another simple, image happen in the mind. Yeah. Okay, if there are any other question, you have some more questions? Okay. That's all, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can, no problem. Can. Yeah, Thero Sannai.
Bhante, may I just spend 1 minute on that grumpy question? Yesterday we told you respect to that yogi who asked the question. I thought whether he or she is a newcomer. Because, Bhante, we don't socialize here.
Right.
It is far from our agenda. It's always an inward journey.
Correct.
We go inwards. If we socialize, we go outwards.
Anyway,
yeah.
I mean, being inward, does that mean that you have to feel grumpy?
Of course, yes. So,
yes.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
So that person would have misunderstood the way that Yoniso Manasikara and mindfulness. We are not laughing and shouting and gossiping. So perhaps that must be the reason. And there are thousands and thousands places outside for us to socialize.
Correct.
So I think that is the crux of the problem.
Not only that, sometimes people even take meditation too serious.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
They are with a little the sad mood they are meditating.
Of course.
It's not going to work. I mean, there may be certain serious mood sometimes can happen, but in general, so the meditation has to take you to a relaxed mood. So you are not imagining things, you are not fabricating, you are not holding a heavy load as we just discussed.
That's true.
Rather, it's an unloading process. So you are relaxing. So you are enjoying the present moment. The path is, you are fully with the present moment, no? If the present moment doesn't bring you any kind of an agitation, if you are simply observing breathing, for example. So breathing is not an agitating process, it's a very subtle process. It takes you kind of a calmness. So if you are fully in the breathing, so your mind has to be calm. So that calmness may have to represent through your face, isn't it?
Yeah.
So your facial expression may represent your inner mental environment, isn't it? So if you are in a very relaxed, calm mood, so that is being represented in your mind, in your face. So therefore, anyway, at the beginning, you can't get everything perfect. So you may be in a kind of a struggle. There are a lot of thoughts, a lot of, anger and all these things, and the body aches and all these problems are there. You are waiting till the time ends. You are watching the watch or clock and etc. So it's a struggle. So then we can't expect him to have a very pleasant mood.
The more you unload, the simpler you feel. And the lighter you feel, and that expresses in your face.
Yes,
that's
exactly. Yeah.
Bhante, the question on Dhamma, I don't know whether it's too long.
Yeah.
ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ දැන් අර ලේඩි කිව්වට පස්සේ දැන් චුති චිත්තෙන් පස්සේ ප්‍රතිසන්දි චිත්තය ආවට පස්සේ ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ එතකොට දැන් මහානිදාන සූත්‍රයේ තියෙන අර නාම රූපයට විඥානයගේ බැස ගැනීම. එතකොට බැසගත්තට පස්සේ in that fetus එකේ සෙන්සස් මොකක්වත් නැහැ. එතකොට ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ එළිය මාස ගණනාවකට පස්සේ එළියට ඇවිදිලා එළියේ ඒවත් එක්ක සම්බන්ධ වෙනකල් මට හිතෙන්නේ විඥානයක් there can't be a pure විඥාන. So the only way that the vijnana can maintain is the fetus must be feeling only the tactile sensations, only the touch sensations. It's only after coming out that he is exposed to the external stimuli. That is what I feel. I don't know how the vijnana goes on during the 9 months without any external stimuli.
ඇත්තටම සමහර තැන්වල තියෙනවා මේ යම් විස්තර. ඒ කියන්නේ 9 months ම යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ විඥානයාගේ බැස ගැනීමක් නාම රූපෙට සිද්ධ වෙනවා යම්සි කාල පරිච්ඡේදයක් ඒක එහෙම ගර්භය තුල තියෙනවා ඔන්නෝම එක එක විස්තර ටිකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ඔය සමහර scientific findings උයි අට කතාවල එන විස්තරය අතර යම් පමණක සැසඳීමක් තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් ඔය scientific findings වල තියෙනවානේ මෙන්න මෙච්චර weeks ගානක් ගියාට පස්සේ ඇස් පහළ වෙනවා. කන් මේ වෙනවා ඔන්නෝම කියලා එහෙම මේගොල්ලොත් හොයාගෙන තියෙනවානේ. ඊට පස්සේනේ born baby infant කෙනෙක් විදිහට බිහි වෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ බිහි වෙච්ච ගමන් ඇස් කන් ලැබෙනව නෙමෙයිනේ. ඒක ඔක්කොම ටික faculties grow වෙනවා යම් කාල පරිච්ඡේදවලදී. ඊට පස්සේ තමයි ඔන්න බිහි වෙච්ච දරුවෙක් විදිහට වැඩිච්ච දරුවෙක් විදිහට බිහි වෙන්නේ. ඒතර ඒක ගැන යම්සි parallel information එකක් අට කතාවල එහෙම තියෙනවා. ඉතින් කෙසේ නමුත් ඉතින් එච්චර දුර යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ ඉතින්.
පියෝ විඥාන කියලා එකක්.
එහෙම එකක්
විඥානයක් නැහැ
නෑ. එහෙම එකක් නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ කොහොමත් ඉතින් ඒ කියන්නේ නාම රූපයක් ඇසුරු කරන විඥානයක් තමයි දැන් හිතන්න අපි එක භවයක චුත වෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒ තාක් විඥානේ නාම රූපයක් ඇසුරු කර තිබුණා. ඊට පස්සේ ඔන්න ගර්භයක නැවත ප්‍රතිසන්දියක් ලබද්දී ඉතින් ඒ ගර්භයේ නැවත හට ගැනීම සඳහා අර සකස් වෙච්ච නාම රූපයක තමයි ඔන්න ගිහිල්ලා බැසගන්නේ. ඒතොර එයාගේ අතරමැදි කාල පරිච්ඡේදයක් තිබුණ නැහැ නාම රූපයකින් තොර. අතනින් චුත වෙනවත් එක්ක මෙතන ඇල්ලුවා. ඒතොර නාම රූපයක් සහිතමයි. එතකොට අපි විපස්සනාවකින් ගැඹුරකින් කතා කරන නාම රූපයක් රහිත නාම රූපයක පැටලිච්ච නැති කතාවක් නෙමෙයි මේ කියන්නේ. සාමාන්‍ය ටිපිකල් පාත් එක මේ කියන්නේ. හැමතිස්සෙම එතකොට විඥානයේ නාම රූපයක දැවටි පැටලි ඉන්න ගතියක් තියෙනවා. ඒක ඇත්ත කියලා ගන්න ස්වභාවයක් තියෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ අපි මැරෙන මොහොතේත් ඒකමයි තමයි සිද්ධ වුනේ. හැබැයි ඉතින් මේ රූපය අසුරු කරන නාම රූපයක් දැන් නැති වුණා. මරණ මොහොතේදී ඒක ගිලිහුණා. හැබැයි එයාට ඕනේ තාමත් තණ්හාව තියෙන නිසා අවිද්‍යාව තියෙන නිසා එයාට ඕනේ අලුත් එකක්. එයා ඉතින් වෙන තැනක වෙන ගර්භයක හටගෙන තියෙන නාම රූපිකයක් ගිහලා බැහැගත්තා. ඒක අල්ලගත්තා. එතකොට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් විස්තර කරන්නේ විඥානේ නැමැති බීජය, කර්මයේ නැමැති කෙතේ, තණ්හාව නැමැති මොකද්ද මේ ජලය නැත්තම් මොකද්ද ඒකට මොයිස්චර් ඒක පාදක කරගෙන ඔන්න වැඩෙනවා. එතකොට මේ කර්මයේ නැමැති කෙතත් අවශ්‍යයි, තණ්හාවත් අවශ්‍යයි, විඥාන බීජයත් අවශ්‍යයි. එතකොට එහෙම තමයි ඔන්න ප්‍රතිසන්දියක් හටගන්නේ. ඔව්. දැන් මොකද ප්‍රාණිමනේ බය වුණානේ මොකද වෙන්නේ යන්නේ කියලා.
ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ.
මරණ මොහොතේ මොකක් වෙයිද දන්නේ නැහැ කියලා බය වුණානේ.
මොකක් වුණත් කමක් නැහැ කියලා හිතෙනවා ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ.
ඔව් ඉතින් ගාලල්ලා කියලා.
ගාලල්ලා නෑ මට ප්‍රශ්නේ තිබුණේ ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ දැන් අර මේ ඉන්ද්‍රිය අනුභූති මොකක්වත්ම නැතුව අතන ඉඳලා විඥානයක් කොහොමද දිගටම යන්නේ කියලා හිතන්.
යාමක් කියලා යන්නේ නැහනේ. එහෙම කතාවක් නැහනේ. අතන චුත වෙනවත් එක මෙතන පහළ වීමක්.
නෑ එතන ඉඳලා
යාමක් ඒක තමයි. ඉන්ටට ඉඳලා කියලා කොහේ ඉඳලාද?
ප්‍රතිසන්දි චිත්තේ ඉඳලා.
ඉතින් එතන හට ගන්නවා. එතන කියන්නේ නාම රූපයක් යාට තියෙනවනේ. සුළු හෝ නාම රූපයක් තියෙනවා.
එතකොට අර චක්කුංච පටිච්ච රූපේච උපජ්ජති චක්කු විඥානං වගේ ඒ process එකක් යන්නේ නැද්ද?
එහෙම එකක් නෑනේ. චක්කු නෑනේ.
ඒක තමයි.
ඔව්. ඒක නැතුණාට ඉතින් මනෝ තියෙන්නේ. මනෝ විඥාන.
මනෝ.
එහෙනම් කොහොමද අරූප ලෝකවල ඉන්නේ?
right.
ඒ කියන්නේ විඥාණයට අනිවාර්යෙන් රූපීය මේ ආහාරයක් අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. දැන් හිතන්න අරූප ලෝකයක එකක්වත් නැහැනේ. කියන්නේ රූපස්කන්ධය ඇත්තෙම නැහැ. එයාට තියෙන වේදනා සංඥා සංඛාර විඥාන. එතකොට දැන් විඥාණයට වේදනාවක් ප්‍රමාණවත් ගයක් බවට පත් වෙනවා. දැන් අද අපි කතා කළේ කාලිද්දකාණි සූත්‍රයේ. ඒතර විඥාණයට ගයක් නේ දැන් නේද? ඒතර රූප ගයක් නැති වුණාට වේදනා ගයක් තියෙනවා. සංඥා ගයක් තියෙනවා, සංස්කාර ගයක් තියෙනවා. බය වෙන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. ඒවල් තියෙනවා ඕන තරම්.
ඒක අහගෙන ඉද්දි තමයි මට ওই ප්‍රශ්නේ ආවේ. ඔබ වහන්සේගේ උදේ දේශනාව අහගෙන ඉඳලා.
ඔව්. ඒ හින්දා ගෙවල් තියෙනවා. ගෙවල් හතරක්ම තියෙනවා.
ලොකු දෙයක්.
ඔව්. බය වෙන්න එපා. රූපගේ නැති වුණත් වේදනා ගයක් තියෙනවා.
වේදනාගේ. එහෙමයි සාහිණා.
හොඳයි බය වෙන්න එපා. හොඳයි. Okay, now we can wind up the session. Today breakfast dana was given by Mrs. Kokila Vanigasuriya. Wish her and family good health and happiness. And then lunch dana was offered by Dr. Disna Ranasinghe to wish her parents good health. So those are the sharing of merits. And today also we have spent some amount of time practicing mindfulness, practicing say Vipassana, and again participated in the Dhamma sermon and Dhamma discussion. And all these merits we wish to be shared with the past relatives, all the celestial beings, and all with whoever in need of merits. And again we wish these merits help us also to attain path, fruition, Nibbana. While keeping these good wishes in our mind, let's recite the traditional verses. Ettavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha ca bummattha devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu sasanang. Akasattha ca bummattha devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu desanang. Akasattha ca bummattha devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu mamparang. Idang vo ñātīnaṃ hotu sukitā hontu ñātayo. Idang vo ñātīnaṃ hotu sukitā hontu ñātayo. Idang vo ñātīnaṃ hotu sukitā hontu ñātayo. Imina punya kammena māme bāla samāgamo satang samāgamo hotu yāva nibbāna pattiyā. Imina punya kammena māme bāla samāgamo satang samāgamo hotu yāva nibbāna pattiyā. Imina punya kammena māme bāla samāgamo satang samāgamo hotu yāva nibbāna pattiyā. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Maybe you can recite Namo Tassa 3 times to observe Ajiva Attamaka Sila.